Alright, this is my segment I like to call the final reel, and in closing this week, I would like to go over the popularity of Twilight. The fact is, when I saw Twilight, I was actually quite blown away of how good this fantasy love story really was. I felt it had a certain originality to it, despite some aspects being a little over the top. But in my opinion, that was part of the movie's charm. I actually gave the movie 4 stars out of 5, believe it or not, and I thought, now here's a movie that doesn't set out to create a false sense of reality. But guess what? It did. That's right. At least I give this movie credit for not trying to do that, but it did do that because I believe it wasn't the vision of this movie to be taken out of context like this. The reason why many girls are going nuts for this movie is for the wrong reasons. It gives off that false sense of a girl looking for someone like Edward Cullen, thinking he's the right guy for them, that he's the perfect guy, that oh he's so sexy, blah blah blah, that he's the guy they'll have. I gotta say, if a guy like Edward Cullen existed and had all his mannerisms and the actions he did in this movie, I actually think most girls with a brain in their head would find him to be pretty creepy. Okay, yes, I get Kristen Stewart's character thought he was a little creepy too, but you get what I'm trying to say. And two, Edward Cullen's a vampire. Vampires don't exist, and if they did, they'd act more like they did in films like The Lost Boys, at least in my opinion. But notice how I emphasize this is a fantasy love story. Fantasy. And when I hear girls talking about this in the context they do, it just nauseates me for the exact reasons I said. Now, I know a lot of you saying, oh, you're just jealous of Edward Cullen, blah, 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 blah. No, no. I mean, I can write a perfect girl as perfect as she can be, but you know what? I can have Megan Fox play her, but it's just still not real. It'll just create a false sense of reality, and it wouldn't be at all realistic. Um, and again, it's not hard to do that. I mean, the thing is, I'm probably gonna get some angry feedback on this, but people, Edward Cullen isn't real. There are no guys like him, and if they are, you'd probably be running the other way or getting a restraining order. It's a fantasy film, as Ben Affleck's character Holden McNeil would say, it's a fictional character, not really real. Am I getting through to you? No, probably not. Whatever. Anyway, next week I will be back with a review of Watchmen, which I'm highly anticipating, and I hope I'm not disappointed, as well as The Last House on the Left, a very interesting, odd remake. Haven't seen it yet either, but gotta say I'm a little intrigued. As well as a couple Oscar films, Slumdog Millionaire, as well as The Wrestler, which got a Best Actor and Best Supporting Actress nomination for Mickey Rourke and Marissa Tomei, respectively. And of course, I'm going to celebrate the 10th anniversary of one of the greatest documentaries I've ever seen. Until next week, this is Bill Chase, and I will, of course, be at the movies.